Hopefully all the bugs are gone. Last time I played this game, bugs were cleared, everything looks crisp. I do have some other videos that I gotta put out sometime later this week, so I can get caught back up on everything. Been a little slow on everything. But, here we are playing Fallout 4. Let's supposed to do something. That's right. That's what I was doing. Just gonna kind of clean this up a little bit and get some stuff started. Oh man, wasn't trying to get rid of that. That's what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're destroying. I think that's really all I can do with these, right? It's just scrap them. Yeah, and then I'll have a blueprint for the... Let's see. Yeah, see, I can't do Resources out of it though. Not too much about that. Been a while since I've been in this vault, so. That takes care of that. Not yet, anyway. So. Go ahead and do this real quick so I can get this done. Here, have your desk over here.
My overseer's desk. And a proper Vault Tech terminal. I can hardly believe it. My
Chair lady, I could really care less what you say right now. Well, there's some stuff that I'm gonna have to deal with here in a minute. You're always sitting down.
This. Please, I beg your indulgence. I've waited so long. But we must not dally. The work compels us. The vault was supposed to have a very specific set of residents. After all, to conduct human trials, you need the perfect test subjects.
I'm not gonna toy with people's lives.
Think of the greater good here. But fine. You're running the experiments. If you choose a risk-free path, it will compromise the value of the research. But that's on your head. Choose wisely. Now, turn on the Vault's radio beacon. Certainly people above ground would give anything to live in our vault. While we wait for word to spread, perhaps you might use this time to explore Vault 88. If you can clear some of the rubble, you may be able to access some of the other building sectors. Any materials or equipment that survived may prove useful in our experiments.
I'll do that in a minute. I think the last time I built this vault, I was actually still working on it. I've been working on it for like 2 days. Alright, Nick, let's go.
Let me ask you something.
What? What do you want?
Is something wrong?
Well, I sort of had the same question. It's just, with everything that's happened with you and your family, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. I wanted to make sure you're holding up all right.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Huh. You're a tougher nut than I thought. Tougher than I was. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point. And folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask. Plenty of people assumed I was just a saboteur, moving in to melt down the reactor or poison the drinking water. But at the time, they couldn't exactly turn me away.
Massacre of the CPG? What's that?
The Commonwealth Provisional Government. Years back, a group of settlements tried to get together and form a coalition. Every settlement with even a hint of clout sent representatives to try and hash out an agreement. Only the Institute sent a representative of their own, a synth. The man killed every rep at the talks. The Commonwealth Provisional Government was over before it even got off the ground. I took up in town not long after. I was damn lucky they didn't just tell me to scram right then and there.
Broken mask?
This was long before I'd moved to town, but apparently some gentleman type shows up in Diamond City, heads down to Power Noodles. Guess he didn't like the food because he pulled his pistol and opened fire on the folks enjoying theirs. When security finally put enough holes in him to drop him, they say he was full of servos and sprockets, just like yours truly. Seems he malfunctioned, went berserk. It was the first time people realized that synths had stopped looking like me and started looking like them. Considering what these folks went through, I felt real lucky they let me in the front gate at all.
Why would you want to live among bigots like that?
Now, I couldn't really blame them, given the circumstances. But folks sure started turning the other cheek when I showed up with the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd, known for an evening. Turns out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
Was it hard settling in?
Yeah, they sure didn't make it easy. I started off doing the jobs no one else wanted. I got more banged up being Diamond City's handyman than I ever did living out in the ruins. But I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's daughter, so they started coming to me when people went missing. Wife runs off with a new paramour and takes the rent money with her. Talk to the synth. An upset father decides moving him and the kids to Good Neighbor in the dead of night's not the worst damn idea since the bomb. Go get Nick. After a while, the jobs got so backed up, they didn't even ask me to do the handyman stuff anymore. Hell, I was so happy to do it, it was months before I started charging anyone. I never stopped being Nick the Synth, but it was Nick the Detective folks came to see. It was about then that things finally started feeling normal. It took me a long time to realize that home is where you make it. And with some time and effort, this place can be home for you, too. That's a long story, but I hope it helps. Want to get moving?
I would
I think
prefer
we ought to
to.
talk.
What's wrong?
Wrong? Oh, no, nothing's wrong. We've just been traveling a while now, and I figure there hasn't exactly been equitable distribution of information. I've gotten a decent glimpse into your dirty laundry, but you still don't really know a whole heck of a lot about me. I figured I'd offer to balance the board. So, is there anything you want to know?
I guess we're gonna have this conversation in the middle of trying to clear out these rooms, so... really not interested, though.
What's with the outfit?
After I started the agency, I got some old putting on the hat. Guess I felt they made me.
What do you remember about the Institute?
It's all pretty hazy from back then, but a single test chamber was my whole world for years. They've cut you loose. Welcome to the...
So who are you, Nick?
That's a question I've been trying to figure out myself. But I'm still mechanical. My memories, my scanned his brain. Don't know why they chose to make... Hey, maybe that's why the
That's terrible.
Sure did. I remember waking up, suffice to say. Folks didn't really know, but the kids, they weren't afraid. I think his name was Jim. The first person to actually speak grilled me for an hour. It eventually turned those people. It's a surprise. Part of the reason I've...
Where's that town? We should go visit.
I tried to go back and say thanks once I'd gotten myself established. But don't know what happened to the people.
If you're good to people, they'll be...
Couldn't agree more. Well, I expect you're about as...
Alright, thank you. Let's finish cleaning all this stuff out. Get this board set up. let's go back because I gotta interview the candidates apparently. Alright, Nick, where did you go? Just getting into something, I reckon. Well, there he is. Mechanics are weird. scrap that then. Do this. That works.
Great battle.